A walking tour through Japantown in San Jose, California. In this neighborhood, you'll find some really good Japanese restaurants, Japanese shops. You'll find a Japanese sweet shop that the Emperor of Japan ate the sweets himself, and the crown jewel and centerpiece of this neighborhood, you'll find this Japanese Buddhist temple built in 1937. That's where we're gonna end the tour, but I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see what I see. We're gonna start this walk at the intersection of Jackson and 5th Street, walk up about 3 blocks of Jackson, and then back to that Japanese temple where I showed you. Now, this is one of 3 historic Japantowns in California, and so they've actually got a number of historical plaques here that talk to you about a history of the Japanese in the San Jose, San Francisco Bay Area region. They've got neat flags that say Japantown Nihonmachi on these 3 blocks of Jackson Street. They've got neat benches here that also talk about some history of the Japanese population. You can see right here, this talks about Mr. Takata building his hotel in 1915 in this neighborhood. Now, I mentioned Japanese restaurants right here. You're gonna find Kamako Ramen, where you can get a nice bowl of Japanese noodles. I apologize for the road construction up ahead. Apparently they didn't know I was filming a YouTube video, but I am. Now, this Japanese sweet shop right here, Shueido Manju Shop, this is where the Japanese emperor himself had these sweets when he came to the United States. Short hours, only open 6 hours a day, but you can see they've got these really tasty looking Japanese sweets. Right next to it, we've got Nikkei Traditions, a store selling all sorts of kind of like kitschy Japanese items, you know, t-shirts, those sorts of things. And lots of things here closed because of the current state of the pandemic. We've got ukulele jams where you could learn to play the ukulele and guitars, because a lot of American Japanese made their way through Hawaii, Honolulu. So we've got Aloha Fresh, and then we've got the ukuleles in there. Here, another store selling Japanese products. Okay, looking in the window, once that noise stopped, you can see you can get the waving cats, you can get Japanese plates. And this is the source of that noise, so let's go ahead and get away from this noisy thing. There is a neat sushi boat restaurant here on the corner, Kazoo Restaurant. If you're looking to pick up Japanese groceries, there is a small Japanese supermarket here called Nijiya, and it is a small one, but if we look in that window right there, you can see you can get your Japanese vegetables, Japanese produce, Japanese meats. You'll find some other Japanese supermarkets in the Bay Area, but none other in the center of Japantown. Another Japanese restaurant, Sugaru here, and you can see here's another bench with some of the historical looking buildings in the neighborhood. We'll see a few of those historical buildings as we get a few blocks here down Jackson. Shin Mori Optometry, Japanese owned eye doctor. And so what's also kind of cool, they've got these little, it's not really an entrance gate, but they do have these little flowers that have lights up on them. And I mentioned street art. So here's your first street art. This is like a Gundam and Godzilla eating ramen and sushi together. This is an art store where you can get art supplies. They've got another neat mural here on the wall, which is like King Kong, maybe having some ice cream or shaved ice and something that looks like Japanese Mount Rushmore, maybe. And the sort of shorthand for San Jose Japantown is J-Town. So that's what you might also hear this called. We've also got this little stone monument here and this little tall spire. This historical plaque talks about the Japanese settlers in the 1920s that settled the Santa Clara Valley. They've put little nice crosswalks in here so people know that you're crossing here. The rest, like out of these 3 blocks, it's pretty residential off of Jackson Street. And because this is a community where it's not just trendy Japanese, but Japanese live here. I think there's someone honking at me because maybe they like my channel or they want me to get out of the street. I don't know. Events. We can see some of the events in the neighborhood. You can share your Zen space. You can take a beginner's Zen class. You can learn how to arrange succulents. Plant arranging is a very popular Japanese art. And you know, there's not just one ukulele shop in this neighborhood. There are more. The ukulele source right here. You can see there's a whole bunch of ukuleles right there in the window. Maybe not with the glare, but there were. This historical sign talks about the pioneers, the Japanese that were here before the settlers, as early in the 1890s. Okay. Now, as we continue down Jackson Street, we're crossing 5th, which is where I started, which is where that Buddhist temple is that we'll come back to. There's Orange Crush Studios on the left. This bench is kind of cool because if you've brought your chess set or your checkers set, you can play chess or checkers on this bench. So make sure you bring your game pieces with you. I really like this art piece right here. This is like a Japanese house, a Japanese tree house that has like a samurai in the shape of a samurai helmet. That is pretty cool. Over here, we've got JT Express. This is like a little, almost like Hawaiian convenience store. You can see their sign right here. It says to try their bentos, sushi burrito, and loco moco. They've also got taiyaki, takoyaki. They've got ice cream. And so we can just take a look in here. You can see they've got the Japanese fish as you would have if you were in Japan. They've got the mochis, the cheesecakes, the pastries back there. Just feels like a very Hawaiian mom and pop shop. 7 Bamboo, not open right now. 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. they're open, so a little bit of a divey bar evening spot if you're looking for something to do at night. But something that's not Japanese cuisine, we've got Omogare, Korean cuisine. This place looks like it has a lot of chicken fondues. You can get kalbis. You can get the Korean soups here on the corner. And then coming down this way, this is now 4th Street. We started at 5th. We walked up to 6th where that noisy thing was. We're gonna cross here. Oh, first I wanna show you this, this neat electric box with that little angry red guy right there. Very Japanese. You see those all over Japan. On the right-hand side, I mentioned we'll see some classic buildings. These are really neat with their roof lines with like the little peaks on them. You know, now it's a haircutting salon and something else, but this shop right here, of all the kind of Japanese shops, I think this is the coolest one in the neighborhood. Nichiya Busan. This store has all the classic Japanese goods you'd want if you're looking for tatami mats, or you're looking for kimono type outfits, or you're looking for geisha type sandals, socks that are split so you can wear them. If you're looking for a Japanese drum or something like that, you will find it in this store. This is a cool one. Don't miss this one while you're here. All right, let's go ahead and hop across the street. Oddly placed in this corner is a taco shop. So if you are not in the mood for Japanese food, you can get yourself some tacos. Now, my favorite mural in the neighborhood is the one on this corner of 4th and Jackson. This is the one where you see King Kong, you see Godzilla, you see what looks like Mecha Godzilla, and you see, was this maybe Ultraman? And this character that somebody should take away my Japanese pop art card since I can't name him right now. But they've all got like a Nintendo gamepad right there and the Nintendo Entertainment System. I think that is pretty cool. That mural is on the corner of Plant theory, kind of like an upscale plant shop, which also is next to Zonky for art, toys, collectibles, and more. Which I actually think that store is both. Now here we've got like a Japantown, the barber shop, but the barber shop also next to it has like an upscale kind of trendy hat and clothing store. Okay. As we go this way, we have a beauty studio. There's a shabu shack where you can get shabu. What is shabu? Well, basically, you get a pot like this on your table. It's typically a heating element underneath it. You can see like right here. And it has 2 different types of soup, usually a mild one and a spicy one. Get some meats. I think beef is often the classic. Get some veggies. You dip it in the hot boiling soup. Once it cooks in there, then you eat it. Can be pretty tasty. Another hair salon that we're passing called Hair Mission Gombe. This was much busier earlier today at lunch hour when they were open. Gombe is a traditional Japanese. You can get chicken teriyaki, salmon teriyaki, curry rice, just very typical, simple, classic Japanese foods on offer here. And this is Roy's gas station. It's no longer a gas station. It's now a place that sells coffee and tea. But taking us to where we started, down this road, 5th and Jackson, bringing us to the Buddhist Temple. I love how in front of the Farmers Insurance Company, they've got these Japanese manicured trees. I always love when the Japanese gardeners meticulously cut these things with scissors to do this. You might say it looks like a bonsai tree. They're not really bonsai because they're so big and they're not in a pot. Well, I guess these actually say, because they are bonsai trees, they were planted almost 100 years ago. Please keep out of the garden. That is very cool. And I like these trees. You don't usually see bonsai in public settings like that, so it's nice that people keep them nice. By the way, this Japantown is located about 10 minutes from San Jose Airport. So if you're flying into San Jose at the airport, 10-minute drive from there to get here. So really convenient if you're flying in. And just about 5 minutes driving from San Jose downtown. So right over there, this is the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuen. This is the temple that was built in the 20s and the 30s, established in the 20s, built in the 30s. They've got 2 sides. They've got the temple side over there, and then on this side, they've got their like preschool, some other things over here. But if you're looking to kind of take a neat Instagram picture in San Jose that'll make people think you're in Japan, it is right there. And the final thing, just right across from it, there are some neat, interesting like artwork benches here, modern art things that talk about the Matsuri festival. And we've got somebody over there also sitting on the benches right in front of the temple. But I do also want to show you right across the street, I want to show you the gardens in front of the temple. They've got some neat bamboo things right here that Topher, my traveling panda, is no doubt salivating on. And when I was here, they had some neat chalk artwork in front. I say when I was here because since it's made of chalk, this likely won't be here forever. But this chalk artwork, we've got something that says, "Let us give rise to blooming a flower of peace and harmony." And we've got a nice geisha girl there from at Oolong X Cha. That's the artist's name, probably if you want to look them up on Instagram. Also, same artist over here did this one, eating what looks to be some shave ice, mochido, one more time for the Obon Festival. And then if we look in here, this is the neat little small Japanese garden at the temple. So fellow explorers, if your travels bring you to San Jose and you're looking for a little bit of Japanese culture, definitely check out Japantown. Small area, but really a lot of neat stores and restaurants here. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video. You'll find a couple of them on the screen here that you can check out. Also, links in the description below for more fun, informative, and entertaining Yellow Productions travel guides.